At People's State Bank, we promise to protect your money without adding unnecessary fees, to work with your schedule, to answer your questions, even the ones you didn't know you had, to work with you one-on-one so you feel comfortable every step of the way, to keep things simple and keep the decision-making in-house. At People's State Bank, we promise to give you money-saving options, in-house private mortgage insurance, access to specialty products that assist first-time and low to moderate income home buyers through WIDA competitive rates, to value your time, and to keep things moving along as efficiently as we can on our end. People's State Bank, we promise to stay invested in you.
Did they do that intro already? Did they do that intro already?
Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Wolf Construction broadcast booth. Your Grant Regional Health Center and People's State Bank coverage of high school wrestling is presented by Wolf Construction and Myers Heating and Cooling. We are on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and on the WGLR app, along with the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube page. From Lancaster High School, I am Adam Guthrie, alongside Chuck Rasmussen and Tyler Dictanis, helping us with the YouTube feed tonight. Tonight we will be bringing you a non-conference matchup as the Lancaster Flying Arrows face off against the Bulldogs from MFL Marmac. Raz, tonight Lancaster takes on a very tough team from across the river in Iowa. Last year the Arrows traveled over to Monona and lost to the Bulldogs 52-27. Tell me what you know about this MFL team that you can share with our listeners so they have an idea who Lancaster is facing tonight.
Well, they're going to have a full lineup, which is definitely going to be to their advantage anyway. Lancaster is going to forfeit in 5 weights. They got several state qualifiers coming back. They've got Bryce Radloff at 145 pounds. He's off to an excellent start, 13-1 on the season. And they also got Carter Decker back. He's going to be at 152 pounds, and he was a state qualifier also last year. Decker, a second-team All-State football player. Him and Radloff were both all-conference football players. I look up and down their lineup. Virtually every one of their wrestlers has a winning record, and the Flying Arrows will have a handful tonight.
Saturday, Raz, the Arrows traveled to the Thomas Scramble, finished 9th out of 17 teams. Lancaster was led by senior Bryce Golly, who came out as the champion at 182 pounds. Other finishers included third-place finishes by seniors Ryan McCartney at 195, senior Paxton Hankey at 220, and senior Joe Escher at 138, along with the junior Devin Teedrick at 45. Placing 8th was sophomore Nolan Wolf at 152 and freshman Nolan Hankey at 160. Raz, I believe that's been a tournament that's pretty much been a staple in Lancaster's lineup. Talk a little bit about that tournament and how the guys did on Saturday.
For what I saw, they did fairly well. As you mentioned, their places, at 182 pounds, Golly went 4-0 on the day. Everybody else had 2 losses. At least, but I think they wrestled pretty well. It's a pretty competitive tournament, and to finish right in the middle of the pack with just 7 guys, I think was pretty good. They did not have Jamin Krapp last weekend. I don't know if he had another commitment or if he was injured or ill, but he did not wrestle. So overall, I don't know what Brad said in the pre-match interview, but I would think that he would have been fairly happy with the
As you'll find out, you'll find out that interview. Brad wasn't even at that tournament. He went to Wanakee with the 3 young ladies. I got to mention that as Olivia Ball finished 2nd at Wanakee with a 4-1 record, had a really good day in a girls division up in Wanakee. Coach Sturmer took the 3 ladies up there along with some JV wrestlers and had a good Saturday up in Wanakee, this past Saturday. We will take a 2-minute break and come back with interviews from both head coaches, MFL Marmax's Chuck Beckman and Lancaster's Brad Sturmer. That and much more, all part of the Raleigh Cheese pre-match show presented by Raleigh Cheese at the intersections of Highway 11 and 23 in the heart of Lafayette County. Don't forget the cheese.
Graphics of Lancaster. Jennifer, Whitney, heads up, do highlights, color, text, curves, and new bartering services too. Heads up,
Chet Bachman in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back.
Small town businesses to large multi-state operations. Tricor Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance have industry expertise that can cover all types of businesses.
Having an insurance agency that understands our business is a real benefit. They know our people. It's something Tricor does really well.
Tricor's in-depth knowledge of insurance, regulation, compliance, and safety consulting is here to help your business succeed. Working with leading insurance companies like Auto Owners Insurance. They'll be there when you need them most. Visit TricorInsurance.com to learn more about Tricor Insurance Cycle of Care.
Hi, this is Steve Schmidt, owner of the Shoebox in downtown Blackbird. We have thousands of pairs of shoes in stock, no waiting. So stop in anytime, specializing in size, selection, and fit. We will save you money. P.S. We measure both feet. Stop in the Shoebox, largest shoe store at the north end of Blackbird.
Cheese is the perfect addition to any holiday meal. Hi, this is Christine Raleigh of Raleigh Cheese House. Visit our store for your favorite cheese selections, including our own Dunbarton Blue, Red Rock, and Little Mountain. We customize gift boxes for any budget. Don't forget about our made-to-order cheese trays that everyone will love. Taste the difference of handmade Wisconsin cheese at Raleigh Cheese House. Visit us on Facebook, RaleighCheese.com, or on the corner of Highways 11 and 23, Shellsburg.
24/7, 365. Myers Heating and Cooling is your trusted residential heating and cooling system service provider. Join Myers Comfort Club for peace of mind throughout the year and around the clock. Myers Heating and Cooling in Lancaster. Don't worry, we got this.
Pre-match 1.
How's it going this evening?
Doing good. Glad to be over here and appreciate Lancaster inviting us over.
Yeah, you guys wrestled Lancaster last year over in MFL. You guys handled Lancaster pretty well. What do you see as individual matchups or something that looks to be a little bit challenging for you guys tonight here against the Flying Arrows?
I know they're 82-pounders, tough as nails, and they're very well coached. And honestly, they're a lot like us, and that presents a good night of wrestling, that's for sure.
A lot of our listeners don't know a lot about your team. I do believe you guys wrestled in the team state tournament last year, if I'm correct. Talk a little bit about your team and where you would like to see your team, down the road in February for you guys in the Iowa State tournaments.
Well, we started off the season, we're 10-0 in duels, and we wrestled in a nice dual team tournament, wrestled in a tough tournament last week, placed fourth. So, we're fairly competitive. We got some young kids mixed in with some experienced kids. And then I always call these guys bookends. We got a heavyweight, we got a 6-pounder. It seems like that's what every high school needs is a 6-pounder and a heavyweight. So we've got that to take care of, and then we just need to fill in everything in between, and we've done that. We definitely got to get a lot better on our feet. That's something that we got to keep looking for, as the season goes on. But we got to continue to get better on our feet, because I believe at the end of the season, the big time matches, that's where your medals are won, and your state qualifying matches are won. So that's something that we're really looking forward to, getting better at. But some of our young kids we want to bring along, and we want to continue to get them better on their feet as well. But probably most importantly, just get them to gain some confidence, because if you can get these kids to gain confidence, they can be pretty competitive.
Chet, I was talking to you earlier about girls wrestling. It seems like Iowa's got it going right now. You said they got a lot of wrestling. Something Wisconsin is definitely trying to mirror and get going. Talk a little bit about what you know of the state of wrestling in Iowa when it comes to girls wrestling.
Yeah, it's gone crazy. It's nuts over there. I remember going to a coaching convention, and they were pushing for it. And, we started out with a couple hundred, now we're over 2,000 girls. And when we go to tournaments over there, there's 200 to 250 girls at a tournament and 16 girl, brackets. And it's very, very competitive. I've seen the competition just skyrocket. We used to have girls that were playing basketball go wrestle, and you still see a little bit of that, but I just think that the overall technique of the girls and what they're doing is pretty awesome. I like the idea too over there that we have an A division, a B division, and a C division. So now, like, if girls want to try it, and they don't get thrown out there to the wolves, so to speak, if you know what I mean. So I like that idea, and we're going to have a qualifier to get to the state tournament this year, and then at the state tournament, it's going to be at the same time as the state duels. It's all sanctioned. It's a high school, sanctioned event now, and I think there are 32 girl brackets that are going to be made. So it's just, my daughters are wrestling, and I didn't really advocate for it, to be honest with you. I kind of let them choose that on their own, and the other coaches kind of convinced them that way. I wasn't dad trying to push my own kids, And my youngest has gained so much confidence, and my middle, I seen it in my own kids, how much confidence it's just given them. And I just think the opportunity out there for kids to compete and give more kids opportunities to do things, I think in today's society and world, that's the most important thing to do.
I couldn't agree with you more there, Coach. I couldn't agree with that anymore. So I'd like to thank you for your time, and best of luck for you and your team tonight as you face the Flying Arrows. We'll be back with more of the Raleigh Cheese Pre-Match Show presented by Raleigh Cheese at the intersections of Highway 11 and 23 in the heart of Lafayette County. Don't forget the cheese.
God, we're in Wisconsin.
Coach Brad Sturmer in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back.
In southwest Wisconsin and northeast Iowa. If you're looking for a place where you're more than just a number, but still have access to convenient technology, we're it. As a community bank, we're proud to support many of the local charities, county fairs, community events, and more. When you become part of People's State Bank, you can be confident that you're standing with a good cause. People's State Bank, community-minded, just like you. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The Peterson Agency in Argyle is an experienced professional insurance agency serving many clients throughout the region. Many of the Peterson Agency's clients choose Hastings Mutual as their insurance company because Hastings Mutual is stable and progressive, just like the Peterson Agency. Contact the Peterson Agency today to discuss your insurance needs. Whether it's for your farm, home, car, or business, they'll design a program especially for your protection. The Peterson Agency in Argyle and Hastings Mutual Insurance, because proper insurance protection is important.
Grant Regional Health Center's ortho team, Dr. Brad Binsfeld and Nate Stocco, PAC, provide exceptional care for sports-related injuries. Grant Regional Health Center. Experience the difference.
Like any business, success is often determined by who you know rather than what you know. That's why it's good to know the pros at Fuller's, your Kia dealer. Fuller's is your source for the barn equipment brand and all of your barn equipment needs. Make your operation more efficient and profitable, and get the most out of your dairy herd by partnering with the experts at Fuller's Milkers Center, LLC, your local Gia dealer in Lancaster, Richland Center, and FullersMilkersCenter.com.
Sports is presented by Van Reed CFP, your Edward Jones financial advisor in Platteville. Are you selling your farm? Give Ben a call. Member SIPC.
Back to Lancaster High School and the Raleigh Cheese Pre-Match Show presented by Raleigh Cheese in the intersections of Highway 11 and 23 in the heart of Lafayette County. Don't forget the cheese. I'm here right now with Lancaster Flying Arrow head coach Brad Sturmer. Brad, how's it going this evening?
Oh, it's pretty good, It's I guess a good night to be in a gym with the weather outside, but no, things are going well. The team's starting to get a little healthier too. We were banged up a couple weeks ago and had to kind of take some downtime for quite a few of the wrestlers, and at least we feel like we're getting back to good health, so that's good.
With all that being said, Saturday you guys wrestled at the Toma Scramble, finished 9th out of, I believe, 17 teams there. Come out with the champion in Bryce Golly, 4 kids placing 3rd, and the other 2 wrestlers who wrestled that day also finished in 8th place. Talk a little bit about how you felt you guys did there at the tournament as a team and individual-wise.
Yeah, so that tournament actually, Dustin and Eric and Tyson, the Wolf Clan, took them up to Toma because I had to Wanakee with Raz, but Coach Wolves were all like, they wrestled really well, and they had pretty high expectations. We all do as coaches. So hearing that and seeing where they placed and you know how things went that day, they definitely had a good day. You know, but there's still early in the season, lots of things to learn from.
You guys had an MFL Marmac team tonight. You guys faced last year, lost over Monona, Iowa to them. They come in here probably with a full team tonight. You know, if you were talking to their coach, they're going to say they got high expectations for their team. What do you see as challenges for you guys tonight individually against these Bulldogs of MFL Marmac tonight?
Yeah, you know, we wrestled them last year, and they had a tough squad. And I imagine they have a tough squad again this year. And I'm excited that this is the second year we're wrestling them in a dual meet, and hope that tradition continues. We're actually wrestling in an MFL Marmac tournament in second weekend in January there. So kind of a nice relationship, I guess, that we're building with them. And you know, they forfeit one weight class at 13. So again, we're going to be giving up some points off the get-go. But like I told you last time, before a duel, we'll focus on what we can control, and that's the matches we send kids out, and we're going to expect maximum effort.
Okay, talk a little bit about what you got coming up to get your guys ready for the bi-state tournament. That usually is the halfway point of the season, what a lot of coaches look at as a halfway point, is the big Christmas tournament up in La Crosse.
You know, that's coming up 2 weeks and 2 days where that tournament starts, and it is kind of the mid-year, and really a good test for some of our kids with high expectations at the end of the year. You know, if you want to be in the state tournament and in a medalist in the state tournament, you can, if you medal in the bi-state tournament, that's a really good indicator that you got a good chance, you know, because bi-state obviously is all three divisions. I mean, there's like 70 schools. The tournament is extremely tough. Seems like it gets tougher every year. So if they go out and put a good performance on, get a medal, or even make second day at bi-state, that bodes well for the end of the year. And you know, if you go in there and your goal is to make state tournament at the end of the year, and you don't make the second day, well, maybe you got to look yourself in the mirror and pick up your game in the practice room and outside of the room, and just like I said, just pick it up. So it's a good indicator where they are at this point.
All right, best of luck to you tonight and your arrows as you take on MFL Marmac this evening. We'll be back with more of the Raleigh Cheese pre-match show right after this break.
And so at Wanakee.
Chet Bachman in 3, 2, 1.
Todd Wolf and his crew pride themselves in providing full service for their customers at the highest of quality. Wolf Construction LLC of Lancaster, proud to back our local athletes.
24/7, 365. Myers Heating and Cooling is your trusted residential heating and cooling system service provider. Join Myers Comfort Club for peace of mind throughout the year and around the clock.
Welcome back to Lancaster High School and the Raleigh Cheese pre-match show presented by Raleigh Cheese at the intersections of Highway 11 and 23 in the heart of Lafayette County. Don't forget the cheese. I am Matt Guthrie sitting alongside Chuck Rasmussen and Tyler Dictanis helping us with the YouTube feed. They're getting ready for the starting lineups here at Lancaster. Any other thoughts you want to give to our listeners, Raz, before we get going into the starting lineups?
No, not really too awful much. The Arrows come in tonight at 2 and 4 in duels. They wrestled Cuba City. We were on the radio there about a week and a half ago. Beat them 39-24. Then they went up to the Reedsburg tournament. A good tournament up there. They got beat by Riverdale. And I tell you, keep an eye on Riverdale this year. They've got some really good numbers, and they got some studs in their lineup. Keep an eye on them this year. They got beat. Lancaster was defeated by Riverdale 51-18. Defeated by Wisconsin Dells 36-28. Was defeated by River Valley. I forgot to write down the score there. And then got defeated by Monona Grove McPartland 42-37, and defeated Westby in the final match at 37-26. I look back at that Toma match here then too, and I just went through the records. I think I failed to say everybody that was there on the varsity level also won a match, and they were 18 and 16 on the day as far as head-to-head matches. So, yeah, pretty good there. I hadn't realized that Brad had went up to the girls tournament up at Wanakee. I know my son Matt was with the boys on the JV tournament up there, and I know I had looked at the statistics from that, and between the boys and the girls, they ended up with a winning record on head-to-head matches there too. So good there also.
You talk about your son playing wrestling. Looks like we're going to do the national anthem.
Tonight, we welcome Mrs. Bailey's 4th grade students from Winskill Elementary, who will be singing our national anthem for us tonight, under the direction of Mrs. Sturmer.
Nice job there by the 4th graders singing the national anthem. Oh, we got to get it. Oh, we got the light ready to go. Good job, Tyler. Yeah, as most of you know, if you've been to Lancaster for dual meets, the last few years, they shut off the gym lights and just have a spotlight basically down on the middle of the mat. And we learned earlier that we got to bring a light for us. So we're going to be ready to go here pretty soon.
All right. We will get started with the Nutrition World starting lineup presented by Nutrition World. Health and wellness, quality, selection, and knowledge for optimal health and energy levels are found at Nutrition World, highways 80 and 81 in Platteville. Go ahead, Raz, and give us our potential starting lineup for this night's matchup.
All right, yeah, and I like that word potential. We'll probably see a change or two, but we're going to start off wrestling tonight. We're going to start with the 106-pound weight class, and Lancaster will forfeit. Wyatt Mose, a freshman with a record of 8-1, will accept their forfeit there for MFL. Neither team will have a 113-pounder. And at 120 pounds, Olivia Ball will be the varsity wrestler for the Flying Aerials. Olivia is a freshman. She is 1-0 on the varsity level. Her opponent will be Keith Anderson, a sophomore with a record of 9-5. Jamin Kraft back in the lineup tonight. He is a junior with a record of 3-2. He'll be wrestling against Jared Hansen, a freshman, at 7-7. Lancaster will forfeit at 132 pounds to Ryler Kugel. He is a sophomore with a record of 2-2. At 138 pounds, Joe Esser, senior for the Flying Arrows, with a record of 7-4, matches up against Holden Mathis. He is a junior with a record of 12-3. Devin Tidrick at the 145-pound weight class for the Flying Arrows has a record of 7-4. He will wrestle against Bryce Radloff. He is a junior with a record of 13-1. Nolan Wolf at 152 pounds, a sophomore with a record of 5-6, will take on Caden Decker. He is a senior with a record of 12-2. Nolan Hankey at 160 pounds, a freshman for the Flying Arrows at 5-6, wrestles against Quinn Magoo. He is a sophomore at 12-3. The Flying Arrows will forfeit at 170. Bryce Galley, as Adam mentioned, the champion up at Toma last weekend with a 9-1 record now. Senior will wrestle against another good one, a sophomore, Austin Schaller, with a record of 11-3. two good ones at 195. It'll be Ryan McCartney, a senior at 9-2. His opponent is going to be Nolan Leach. He is a junior at 12-4. Let me check that out. It's Lurch, not Leach, excuse me. So I can see better here. It's Lurch, and 220, it'll be Paxton Hankey for the Flying Arrows, a senior at 9-2. He'll be taking on a newcomer to the MFL lineup, Avery Thornton, a sophomore with no record. And at 285, Will Howes, a freshman from MFL, the record of 10-4, will receive a forfeit. That's our expected lineups. Our official tonight, Joe Poots. Joe has been around officiating for quite a few years now, does an excellent job.
So as I was going to bring up earlier, you talked about Lancaster being up at Reedsburg. And I think you mentioned in our last broadcast that your boys had a little bet. It was a little weird seeing Matt walk out of the gym in an NFL Marmat.
Yeah.
Monona Grove McFarland shirt. I bet the boys had a little bit of fun in practice on Monday with that.
Yeah, I'm guessing so too. But yeah, as you mentioned, all three of my sons now coaching. Oldest son Eric is up at Nina. Matt, middle son Matt, is here at Lancaster, and youngest son Nate helping coach up at Monona Grove McFarland. Wyatt Mose will get the forfeit at 106 pounds. And back to McFarland. But MFL Marmac will take the 6-0 advantage. Double forfeit at 113, and we'll go into the 120-pound weight class.
All right, as you're getting ready for that, we'll go with the color sponsor tonight. It's sponsored by Cuba City Family Dental and Keeler Family Dental, where the colors are always bright white without putting your finances in the red. Both teams are blue and yellow. MFL Marmac's a solid blue with yellow trim, and it looks like Lancaster's going with blue uniforms. They got like yellow striping claw marks on the side with, is it arrows wrote on the back? Or is it
it's going to be a little easier, I think, this year to keep track of things. Last year they had virtually the same singlets. And it's going to be Olivia Ball wrestling here against Keith Anderson. Anderson in quickly for a takedown. He leads 2-0. We're in the 120-pound weight class. Anderson working off to the left-hand side of Ball, trying to put in a half Nelson, readjust. Ball able to get the elbow down for a second. Anderson back in, working on the side, and this time he's got Olivia over to the mat and trying to tighten things up as Anderson. He's going to get a near fall and then takes ball back over shoulders to the mat again here, too. 1:17, and there is the fall at 1:15 for Keith Anderson.
A minute, what'd you say?
15.
Minute 40, or 45 seconds.
Excuse me, 1:15 showing on the clock, 45 seconds.
All right, wrestling action is brought to you by Claire Bank with their 8 locations in Southwest Wisconsin, proudly supporting the area's high school sports teams. Claire Bank, where they say, we can do that. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. All to you brought to you by Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Bloomington. Trust the pros at Hermson's for assistance you with your next ag, commercial, or residential product. Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center, Bloomington's family-owned since 1942. Also brought to you by Majestic View Dairy of Lancaster. From the farm to your fridge, they produce milk for delicious and nutritious beverages and foods. Learn more at Majestic View Classroom on Facebook.
126 pounds will be Jamin Krapp for the Flying Arrows. Krapp, a junior with a record of 3-2. His opponent, Jarrett Hansen. Hansen, a freshman, at 7-7. Krapp came into the season with an overall record of 29-9. He was 19-6 last year, and again 3-2 now. Krapp in the top position, trying to work on looks to be maybe an arm bar series. Does have the left arm barred up on Hansen. Krapp with the right hand taped up. He's got a elbow now, trying to walk it over. It has walked it over, and he's got Hansen on his back. Trying to tighten things up in this bar series is Jamin Krapp. He readjusts back to the side again. He still has that elbow. Now tucking in the far shoulder and Near fall criteria has been met, and the pin in 1 minute and 1 second for Jamin Kraft.
That'll bring the team score to MFL 12, Lancaster 6, as we're through 4 weight classes here in Lancaster High School. Wrestling action is brought to you by People's State Bank. For personal, home, business, and ag loan, visit one of their 20 locations or visit peoplesfinancial.com, member FDIC. Also brought to you by D&D Electric in Lancaster. They specialize in industrial wiring, maintenance, install, and control. Flying Arrow proud, D&D Electric in Lancaster. Action tonight is also brought to you by Community First Bank, serving you in Boscobel, Fenimore, Lancaster, Livingston, Muscadet, Platteville, and Prairie du Chien. First for you, member FDIC. What just happened right in front of us, Raz?
That would be Ryler Kugel, sophomore for MFL, picks up a forfeit. He now with a record of 3-2 on this season. This will bring up Joe Esser for the Flying Arrows, checking into the table. And this will be Holden Mathis. Mathis, a junior with a record of 12-3. Esser again at 7-4. Esser had a record of 17-20 last year. His overall high school record coming in to his senior year, 53-49. Tied up, forehead to forehead. Each looking to get the inside tie. They push away. Right in the center of the mat where we like to see them wrestle. Again, our official tonight is Joe Poots. Married Jamie Lemire, who was from Lancaster, one of our managers back a number of years ago. There's a trip attempt by we're down to Mathis. Esser takes a shot. Mathis does a nice job of sprawling. Back up to their feet. They push away. A couple taps to the head by Esser. Esser out of bounds. Both wrestlers out of bounds. Back to the center with 1:03 showing on the clock in the first period. A couple taps to the head. Both left hand, right hand by Esser. There's a snap down attempt. Back up to their feet. Esser with his right hand collar tie. And Mathis the same thing. They push apart. And the official stops the match for just a second. Looks like a nose blood fell out on Esser. And we're back at it. Esser kind of bobbing up and down. Now ties up. Right arm collar tie. Trying to dig inside with the left. Maybe trying to set up his takedown here. Working towards the edge of the mat again, both Esser and Mathis. 20 seconds, first period. No score in the match. Team score 18-6, MFL. And there's going to be a warning stalling on Esser. Mathis kind of pushing in, and we come to the conclusion of the first period, no score.
Wrestling action brought to you by Abra Auto Body and Repair, a division of Anderson Weber Toyota in Dubuque, powering the auto stream. Anderson Weber Toyota, when you are ready. Action is also brought to you by Myers Heating and Cooling, servicing Southwest Wisconsin since 1999. Myers Heating and Cooling, where they say, don't worry, we got this. Second period. Go ahead, Russ.
All right. Esser will be in the down position to start the second period. And in less than a second, he was up to his feet, but brought back down with a good tight waist to the mat by Mathis. Mathis working that right arm around the waist. Joe, get your head up. Esser wrestling with his head on the mat. Now it's up. Now back down to the mat. Now up to his feet. Ooh, reaches back just for the head just for a second. Wisely let that go. Now into a kind of a crotch lift by Mathis. Mathis lets that go. Esser fights it off. Mathis trying to hook in the right leg on the right leg of Esser, but Esser not going to allow that. Now into a cradle. And he's taken Esser over to his back, near fall criteria. Esser not in danger of getting pinned. Well, now as he rolls on to the other shoulder, and there's the pin. Fall time of 2 minutes and 59 seconds for Holden Mathis.
MFL Marmac improves to 24-6 in the team score after 5 weight classes. Make it 6 weight classes. Wrestling action is brought to you by Majestic View Dairy of Lancaster. From the farm to your fridge, they produce milk for delicious and nutritious beverages and food. Learn more at Majestic View Classroom on Facebook. Also brought to you by Claire Bank with her 8 locations in southwest Wisconsin, proudly supporting this area's high school sports teams. Claire Bank, where they say we can do that. Member FDIC. We are at 145 pounds. Go ahead.
All right, at 145 pounds, it'll be Mr. T, Devin Tidrick, junior for the Flying Arrows with a record of 7-4, and he's going to have a handful of Bryce Radloff. Radloff is also a junior at 13-1. Radloff, a state qualifier last year, all-conference football player. I think Devin was second team all-conference, if I remember correctly, on defense for the Flying Arrows. And sparring around, trying to gain wrist control. Now an underhook, right arm underhook by Radloff. Tidrick pushes it away. Tidrick down to the knee, trying to take a shot. Now back up to his feet. Radloff with his feet right on the boundary. Start to circle back in. There's a single-legged shot by Radloff. And Tidrick able to fight that off. Radloff probably 5-6 inches taller than Tidrick. There's a shot, low single leg shot by Radloff. Good job by Tidrick fighting it off. And Tidrick trying to come around. He's got the left ankle of Radloff trying to lift it and gain some control, but not able to do so. Radloff right underneath. And a stalemate will be called by Joe Poots. And they'll go back to the center and start with 30.1 showing on the clock in the first period. Snap down by Radloff. Good job by Tidrick and back to his feet. Tidrick with a left arm underhook. Switches off, goes to a high quad turn around the corner. Trying to turn the corner is Tidrick. He hooks a leg, trying to gain control. Now has gained control, making it 2-0. Good job there by Devin Tidrick. Now getting a little bit out of position, and he'll give up the loss of control, and he'll give up the escape right at the end of the first period. Tidrick with a 2-1 advantage.
That could be a big point coming down the stretch here for Radloff as we work into the second period here. Action brought to you by People State Bank. For personal, home, business, and ag loan, visit one of their 20 locations or visit peoplesfinancial.com. Member FDIC. Second period, 2-1 in favor of Lancaster's Devin Tidrick at 145 pounds.
Radloff will take the down position to start the second period. Tidrick getting a little bit high here. He's got a good tight waist and trying to work an arm bar. Again, getting a little bit high, in my opinion. So trying to turn those shoulders, maybe trying to tuck the head a little bit. Tidrick with his chest over the shoulders of Radloff. Trying to still turn those shoulders, but get real high. Same time now, Tidrick with a leg hooked in. His right leg hooked on the left leg. The leg now free, and with that, Radloff's going to gain some distance between, and he'll get the escape. Oh, nice takedown by Radloff.
Must have went to a reversal.
To a reversal, then an escape.
Yep.
Yeah, at least that's the way it's on the board.
Yeah.
And then a 2 takedown. Either way, Radloff on the board is up 5-3. And they're going to go out of bounds. Close to getting that reversal was Devin Tidrick, but he finds himself trailing 5-3 at 27 seconds remaining in this second period. Radloff, as we said, 13-1 on the season. State qualifier last year. Tidrick came into the season with a overall record of 37-19 in his high school career. Tidrick sits out. Now up to his feet, back brought down, getting towards the edge of the mat, and Radloff right down to a low single, and he will not, Tidrick will not get the escape here at the end of the period. Go to the third, 5-3.
Wrestling action brought to you by Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Bloomington. Trust the pros at Hermson's for assistance with your next ag, commercial, or residential product. Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center, Bloomington. Family owned since 1942. 5-3 in favor of MFL Marmax Radloff as we start the third period.
All right, Tidrick will be in the down position, sits out, and as he sits out, be careful with a chin drop, but not going to be able to score Radloff. Radloff hooks into the legs, now trying to get some leverage on Tidrick. Trying to work those legs and trying to turn Tidrick. Tidrick, he's a strong young man. He's tough one to turn. Minute and 25, third period. Tidrick trails 5-3. Now back up to his knees is Tidrick, and the legs out by Radloff. Tidrick sits out again, trying to work some wrist control. All the way up to his feet is Radloff. Tidrick sits again. Radloff does a nice job of controlling. There's an inside roll attempt by Tidrick. Didn't get quite enough of the elbow to gain the reversal. Now, good tight waist. Boy, look at how far around the waist that hand of Radloff is on Tidrick. Under 45 seconds. 5-3 is our match score. Radloff maintaining good position here. He's got work. Tidrick sits out and brought back to the mat by Radloff. And I think we're going to have a warning. We do have a warning stalling on Radloff.
Like you said, that nice tight waist is keeping him right tight to Tidrick's hips and not giving him a chance to get any movement or momentum to get out of the bottom.
Yeah. 28 seconds remaining, second period. A nice sit out, but followed quickly by Radloff. And Radloff brings Tidrick's belly and chest down to the mat. Again, good tight waist by Radloff. We're down to the 15-second mark of the third period. Radloff up 5-3. Tidrick trying to sit out again. Knees out to the side, but we're less than 5 seconds. Trying to hip over Tidrick up to his feet. And we'll end up with a final score of 5-3. A well-wrestled match between Devin Tidrick and Bryce Radloff.
That should make the score 27-6 in favor of the Bulldogs of MFL Marmac.
Quick note here. This last weekend, I believe this or not, I went to a dance recital. My two granddaughters, Mara and Veda, were in there, and Devin's sister Danica, who is one of our middle school wrestling managers, along with Ava Minch, another one of our middle school wrestling managers, were also participating in that, and just an excellent job there done by their coach, Brandy Dreher. Brandy White was one of our wrestling cheerleaders a number of years ago, but very much enjoyed the performances that day. Good job. We're going to go to the 152-pound weight class, and Nolan Wolf, a sophomore of the Flying Arrows with a record of 5-6, and he goes against Carter Decker. Decker is a senior with a record of 12-2. Decker, a state qualifier last year, second-team All-State football player. Decker in on a single, switches to a double. He lifts Wolf right up off the mat, and he'll get the takedown.
If I looked right, I believe Decker's a 3-time state qualifier for Iowa.
Could be, I don't know. And he'll release Wolf, go back up onto the feet, score it 2-1. Decker noticeable with the long hair there, and trying to take Wolf down to the mat, and he will get Wolf to the mat for another takedown. Hooks in the left leg on the left leg of Wolf, trying to Turk and turn Wolf, but Wolf gets back to his chest and belly. Wolf a sophomore. Decker is senior. Decker now pulls out the leg. Good, look at, again, good tight waist. Really good tight waist by Decker. Left arm around the waist. And he's squeezing the air out of Wolf. Wolf up to his base. Brought back down. Good flattening of the hips by Decker. And I don't think Decker's going to let him go. No, Decker kind of looked like he was coming up to try to maybe get Wolf to do something, expose himself so he could take him to his back, but Wolf's smart enough not to allow that. 4-1, we go to the second.
Wrestling action brought to you by D&D Electric in Lancaster, specializing in industrial wiring, maintenance, install, and control. Flying Arrow proud, D&D Electric of Lancaster. Also brought to you by Mountain City Bank's Total Line of Credit. They allow you to use equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop into Mountain City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC.
All right, we got to get back to the action here. Carter Decker started in the down position. He had a switch, or excuse me, a roll, and he's got Wolf on his back. And there's the fall. 21 seconds into this period. Sorry about that. I know you're upset, but we had a match going, and I guess I could have just reviewed it. Go ahead, I'll let you take.
Mountain City Bank Total Line of Control, Total Line of Credit allows you to use equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop into Mountain City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Learn more at mountaincitybank.com. Also brought to you by Grant Regional Health Center's Ortho Team. Dr. Brad Binsfield and Nate Stocco. PAC provides exceptional care for sports-related injuries. Grant Regional Health Center. Experience the difference. Actions also brought to you by Claire Bank with 8 locations in southwest Wisconsin. Proudly support this area's high school sports teams. Claire Bank, where they say, we can do that. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Also brought to you by Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Bloomington. Trust the pros at Hermson's for assistance with your next ag, commercial, or residential product. Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center, Bloomington, family owned since 1942. So we're at 160 pounds, and I believe someone just received a forfeit there. So, not sure who that was. Raz was listening. I'll let him tell you when he comes back on. I'll let you know that action is brought to you by D&D Electric in Lancaster. They specialize in industrial wiring, maintenance, install, and control. Flying Arrow proud, D&D Electric in Lancaster. Action brought to you by Majestic View Dairy of Lancaster. From the farm to your fridge, they produce milk for delicious and nutritious beverages and foods. Learn more at Majestic View Classroom on Facebook. We're at 170 pounds. Raz, go ahead and let us know what's going on. Raz, you want to jump back in here and go ahead and let the people know what's happening in front of us?
Yeah, we're wrestling, and we're going to try to cover this. Sorry about jumping on when we covered that last match. We did have a forfeit. Lancaster forfeited 160 pounds to Quinn Magoo. And now at 170 pounds, Nolan Hankey is going to move up and wrestle against Dane Coors. It's going to put two freshmen at it here at 170 pounds. Hankey with the first takedown and a 2-point near fall. And we got a stop in the action there for potentially dangerous. All right, we'll go back at it. And real quickly, it's going to be Coors sitting out, coming up for the escape. Coors back in on a single leg. Head inside single, trying to come out the back door. No points yet. Either wrestler here still trying to come out the back door and gain control. Hankey hanging on to an ankle. Coors still trying to work up, close to a stalemate, and the stalemate situation does occur, and so with 46.4 seconds remaining in this first period, it's 4-1 advantage for Nolan Hankey. Tap to the head by Coors. He takes the shot. Countering is Hankey, trying to cross face. Is Hankey. Still trying to now reach back. He's got the ankle of Coors. So far, good hips by Hankey. Now still working on that cross face. And coming out the back door and looking to gain control now is Coors with 10 seconds remaining in this first period. Hankey now readjusting, and it's Hankey that's got the advantage, but not the takedown yet. Trying to crank on things. He's going to get the two takedown as he's putting in a far side half. And Hankey now with a 6-1 advantage going into the second.
Wrestling action is brought to you by People's State Bank. For personal, home, business, and egg loans, visit one of their 20 area locations or visit peoplesfinancial.com. Member FDIC, 170 pounds, second period. Go ahead.
We're going to start the second period in the neutral position. Coors takes his shot a little bit far away, and Hankey doing a good job so far of countering. He's got his hips in, his feet back. Coors with both hands wrapped around the right leg of Hankey. And the stalemate will be called at 1:41 in the second period. Back to the neutral position. Tap to the head by Coors. There's a shot by Coors in to a double. Trying to come up with underhooks is Hankey. And Coors looks like he's got the advantage. And close to getting the takedown is Coors. He just needs to move up a little bit. Hankey's still fighting it off. Now he gives up the two takedown. And he give up. Did he give up near fall? No, I don't think that he did. It's 6-3. Hankey up to his feet. He just kind of throws himself out of that and gets the escape, making the score 7-3. We're halfway through this match. Under a minute now in the second period. A snap down attempt by Coors. Coors goes underneath. Good job by Hankey again. Puts those hips in, feet back. Trying to sprawl, trying to come around. Coors with a head inside double, trying to work himself up to come out the back door. Not able to do so yet. And a stalemate will be called again. Third stalemate in this match with 37.1 seconds remaining in the second period. There's another double-leg shot, head inside by Coors. Hankey hanging on now around the waist, crotch area here. No takedown, neither wrestler. Under 20 seconds, second period. And there, now Hankey's getting in a little better position. He's off to this side. Trying to work on pinning combination, and he's got his wrestler on the back. Near fall point's going to be counted off. It'll be a 2 and a 2. And so Hankey, 2 takedown, 2 near fall. He'll lead 9-3 going into the third.
Wrestling action brought to you by Abra Auto Repair, a division of Anderson Toyota in Dubuque, powering our auto stream. Anderson Weber Toyota, when you are ready. Also brought to you by Community First Bank, serving you in Boscoville, Fenimore, Lancaster, Livingston, Muscadet, Platteville. Member FDIC. Third period, go ahead.
All right, Hankey has decided to go to a neutral position to start the period. He's going to get the first takedown, and he has got Coors on his back, trying to tighten things up. Is Nolan Hankey. Plenty of time here in the third period. Almost a little bit too aggressive. Now he comes back and readjusts. This time with a half Nelson. He's lifting the head, and there's the fall for Nolan Hankey. The time of 4 minutes and 29 seconds.
Big pin there for the young freshman, coming back and wrestling hard in that match for the Flying Arrows. Should make the team score now 39-12 in favor of MFL after the 170-pound weight class. Wrestling action is brought to you by Myers Heating and Cooling, servicing Southwest Wisconsin since 1999. Myers Heating and Cooling, where they say, don't worry, we got this. Also brought to you by Mountain Cities Bank's Total Line of Credit. They allow you to use your equity in your home to do the things you want. Stop in a Mountain City Bank to apply. Offer subject to approval. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Learn more at mountaincitybank.com. 182 pounds. Go ahead. I guess they haven't announced the MFL wrestler. Raz doesn't know who's out there yet. So as soon as they announce that, he will let you know what's going on.
All right, 182 pounds. It's going to be Bryce Golly for the Flying Arrows. Golly with a record of 9-1. His opponent is going to be Austin Schaller. He is a sophomore with a record of 11-3. Should be a good match here. Golly just coming off a championship in the Toma Scramble with a nice double leg takedown. Turns the corner and he'll score the first 2 points in this match. Golly, a state qualifier last year. He was second in the class last year and at 182 pounds. Wrestled to a 34-10 record and came into the season at 46-15. Back neutral. Snap down attempt by Golly. Now trying to come around to the side and hook up a cradle. Does not have the takedown yet. Off to a single leg now, turning the corner. Nice job there by Bryce Golly. And he'll get the takedown. Leading now 4-1, just under a minute to go in this first period. He'll give the escape to Schaller. And they'll start on their feet. A powerful tap to the side of the head by Golly. Oh, in on the double leg, turn the corner. Another nice takedown for Bryce Golly. Good penetration step. Keeps that head up. Working left arm around the waist on Schaller. He's got Schaller's belly and chest on the mat. Under a half minute first period. And they'll have potentially dangerous call. Back to the center at 19.1. Flying Arrows trailing in the dual meet 39-12. Flying Arrows, the 12 points, a pin by Jamin Kraft at 126 pounds, and a pin also by Nolan Hankey at 170 pounds. End of the first period, 6-2.
Wrestling action brought to you by the Peterson Agency in Argyle. Your independent agent, Brian Peterson, specializes home, farm, auto, and umbrella policies. Scoreboard update. The Shoebox Scoreboard is presented by the Shoebox Scoreboard in Black Earth, the largest independent shoe store in the Midwest. Cuba City 31, basketball 16 in boys basketball at the half.
Start the second period neutral again. Schaller goes underneath. Nice catch here by Golly. Golly with a right arm underhook, turns the corner, and he'll get the takedown. Golly looking good on his feet. Working an arm bar on the right-hand side of Schaller, but they're going to go out of bounds, back to the center of the goal. Golly, a well put together 182-pounder. As he walks back to the center of the mat, he says, I'm going to just let him go, and we'll start neutral. So our score at 8-3. A couple taps to the head, both by the right and left hands of Golly. Oh, nice shot. Goes into a low double and moves right up on it, and he'll have another takedown. 10-3. Golly with 5 takedowns now. They come back to the center. Golly signals, I'll just give him the escape. We're back on our feet, 10-4. Minute and 2, second period. Golly with a record of 9-1, a senior. There's another takedown by Golly. His opponent, no slouch neither. Austin Schaller, a sophomore, with a record of 11-3. Golly up now, 12-4. Working off to the side, and he's got the shoulders of Schaller turned, and there's the fall. Pin time of 3 minutes and 25 seconds for Bryce Golly.
Should make the team score 39-18 in favor of MFL Marmac. I'll tell you that wrestling action is brought to you by Grant Regional's Health Center's ortho team. Dr. Brad Binsfield and Nate Stocco, PAC, provides exceptional care for sports-related injuries. Grant Regional Health Center, experience the difference. We are going to 195 pound. If I believe this is a match you talked about earlier, it's going to be a solid matchup here. As they come up, I'll tell you that wrestling action is brought to you by Farmers Family Dental. Dr. Wade Farmer offers facial aesthetics services as well as all your dental needs for big city dentistry with the hometown feel. Farmers Family Dental in Lancaster. 195 pounds. When you know the wrestler, Raz, I'll let you tell
just
everybody
waiting
else.
for the announcement.
Oh, okay, they have announced it. Then you don't know.
Next up at 195, MFL Marmac, Nolan Lurch against Lancaster.
All right. At 195 pounds, as Adam said, we should have a good match here. Two quality wrestlers going to be going at it again. Ryan McCartney for the Flying Arrows. He is a senior, two-time state qualifier. Comes in with a 9-2 record. His opponent will be Nolan Lurch. He is a junior with a 12-4 record. I'd like to thank Ella Jackring for all the information that on the Flying Arrows here, records and that, and also for the coaching staff at MFL for the information that they shared with us before the match tonight also. There's a front headlock attempt by, he actually has it now, McCartney. They come back up to their feet. Went for a kind of a knee tap, but they decided to let that go. Underhook now, left arm underhook by McCartney. So over and under by both wrestlers. Kind of push away. And we're under the 50-second mark of the first period with no score between Ryan McCartney and Nolan Lurch. McCartney underhook right hand, pushes away. Now a collar tie and a snap down attempt by McCartney, but Lurch was able to get out of that under a half minute first period. Working pretty much in the center of the mat. McCartney with that left arm now underhook, reaches all the way around to the waist of Lurch. Trying to go to the knee. not able to get that. McCartney, that's going to be a tough move as far as for McCartney to work here. As a snap down and a spin around by McCartney, and he'll get the 2 takedown. And as I was saying, I'll finish that statement in a little while.
Wrestling action is brought to you by Lancaster Auto Body. They have been serving the Lancaster area since 1960 for certified collision repair, detailing, spray-in bed liners, PPG, lifetime paint warranty, washing, waxing, and more. Lancaster Auto Body, where we meet by accident. Second period, 2-0 in favor of McCartney of Lancaster.
McCartney in the bottom position, sits out, stands up. Looked for a switch on the way down, but Lurch brings him back down to his base. I was going to say that situation there with the collar tie and then reaching for a knee is pretty tough in a situation with McCartney. I'm going to say is 4 or 5 inches shorter than Lurch. McCartney sits out. Ooh, careful. He reached over the back and very quickly got back to his base. Now up to his feet with McCartney, trying to work the hands, and he'll cut through and he'll get the escape. Making the score at 3-0. Back to the center of the mat they go. McCartney working with that left arm underhook. They push away. Now a collar tie right hand by McCartney and that underhook again. At least this match he seems to favor that underhook now into his shot. Trying to double leg and lift, and McCartney will get the takedown. Nice job by McCartney. Good penetration step. Now working off to the right-hand side of Lurch as Lurch's legs split. Trying to gain an advantage here with his legs split. Lurch's left cheek on the mat, and he's able to scoop far enough ahead to get his base. And they will go out of bounds at 28.6 seconds remaining in the second period. McCartney up by a score of 5-0. Back to action. McCartney, good breakdown. Now working off to the left-hand side of Lurch. Working with that arm bar, trying to walk it forward. Lurch able to free his far arm now. Trying to step, still stepping, and McCartney is able to step it over. He's got Lurch on his back. And there is the pin. Pin time of 3 minutes, 57 seconds. Ryan McCartney.
That improves the team score for Lancaster to 39-24, still in favor of MFL Marmac with 2 matches to go.
Lancaster will forfeit one of these next 2. Paxton Hankey will be coming up either wrestling here at 220 or at 285. I don't know what he weighed in tonight at, but I'm guessing he might have weighed in at 195. He's a very trim, light 220 pounder. And he will be checking into the table at 220.
Wrestling action is brought to you by Brian's Auto Body and Paint Specialists in Lancaster. The pros at Brian's get the job done right. For unexpected dings or major repair projects, Brian's Auto Body and Paint in Lancaster. 220 pounds. When Raz knows the wrestler, he'll give you the rest.
All right. I missed as a caution on Hankey. He got a little quick head start here on Whistle. I'm just going to go with what I've got in the book here. I've got Avery Thornton for MFL and Paxton Hankey for the Lancaster. Hankey is a senior with a record of 9-2. Thornton his first match on varsity. Hankey trying to pummel in. Hankey likes to go with those underhooks or into a body lock. Thornton doing a good job of trying to maintain wrist control. Now Thornton pummels in, and he's got Hankey's head underneath his armpit for a second. Hankey backs out of it. And there's kind of a spin for both wrestlers. They just kind of circle each other. 1:25. No score. Hankey looking to pummel in. He's got the collar tie, right hand collar tie on Thornton. And there's a throw attempt. Wisely let go of that as Thornton was sliding down to come around and try to take Hankey down. With a shot attempt by Thornton, back up to their feet. They push away. 1 minute, first period. Last match of the evening. As far as varsity action, there I think is going to be a JV match. Wrestlers tied up ear to ear. There's Hankey hustling in, and he's going to just drive Thornton right on over to it back. He's got the takedown, near fall count. Counted off, and there's the pin for Paxton Hankey. Pin time 128.
That makes the team score 30-39 in favor of MFL Marmac, but I believe MFL is receiving a forfeit here, as Raz said earlier, so it should make the final team score MFL Marmac 45, Lancaster 30. I'll let Raz tell you who gets the forfeit when they make that announcement. If they make that announcement.
All right, this will be Will Howes for MFL Marmac, freshman with a record of 10-4. He'll pick up the forfeit. And as Adam said, our final score tonight on varsity, 45-30.
Wrestling action is brought to you by Clear Bank with their 8 locations in southwest Wisconsin, proudly supporting this area's high school sports teams. Clear Bank, where they say, we can do that. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Also brought to you by Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Lancaster. Trust the pros at Hermson's for assistance with your next ag, commercial, or residential product. Hermson's Ace Hardware and Home Center in Bloomington, family owned since 1942. Do you want to call this one, Raz, while we're still on here?
Do you know who it is?
I didn't listen. I didn't know if you knew the Lancaster wrestler or not. If I could ask somebody for the MFL. If you want to, we don't have to. It's your call.
I think this is Brady Lobinger for the Flying Arrows. I'll check and see if I can get the wrestler for MFL.
Okay. While he's doing that, I'm going to tell you that People's State Bank is a proud sponsor for personal, home, business, and ag loans. Visit one of their 20 locations or visit peoplesfinancial.com, member FDIC. Action's also brought to you by Majestic View Dairy of Lancaster. From the farm to your fridge, they produce milk for delicious and nutritious beverages and foods. Learn more at Majestic View Classroom on Facebook. Action's brought to you by D&D Electric in Lancaster, specializing in industrial wiring, maintenance, install, and control. Flying Arrow proud, D&D Electric in Lancaster. What do you have, Raz?
All right, it is Caleb Zurcher for MFL Marmac, and I believe, again, this is Brady Lobinger for the Flying Arrows. And Lobinger is going to get himself into a little bit of trouble there after a scramble. He's going to give up the takedown, and it's going to be Zurcher with a fall in 1 minute and 35 seconds.
All right, we will take a short 1 minute break, and we will come back as the Culver's Cool Down post-match show right after this 1 minute break here on 97.7 Country, WGLR, and the WGLR app, along with the Queen Bee Radio Sports YouTube page. Welcome back to Lancaster High School. It's time for the Culver's Cool Down Post-Match Show, presented by Culver's in Dubuque, Galena, and Platteville. The Culver's Cool Down Post-Match Show is going to have the match of the meet, the Tri-Core Turning Point, and Coach Sturmer just pointed up to me a little bit ago, and he's going to have him and one of the wrestlers come up. Raz will talk to both of them as they're making their way up the bleachers right now. I'll hand my headset over to them two, and Raz can talk to whoever Brad's bringing up with him. So they're making their way up, and I'll let them go from there.
All right, with us to start things out is Bryce Golly. Golly, tell you what, you did I was very impressed. You worked really well on your feet tonight. I liked the penetration steps, 6 takedowns, if I remember right. 6 takedowns, and you looked good. And when you went in for that fall, it was there. Nice job.
Thank you.
You bet. Good weekend also up at Toma.
Yeah.
And you got the championship there. You know, one of the things that we've always asked in our post-match interviews of our wrestlers, what are some of your goals this year?
My goal is to basically do better than I did last year.
All right.
Make it out of the first day of state. And
that sounds like an achievable goal, too.
Yep, very.
Look nice and trim. No problems making weight?
Nope, not at all.
All right, very good. Who do you give credit to as far as in the practice room for who are your partners? Who works you the hardest?
Coach Klein and Ryan and Paxton.
All right, cool. But it's good that you get some of those alumni in there too. I know that they always provided a little bit different type of wrestling, oftentimes with a little more wisdom behind their wrestling, and sometimes a little more strength in too.
Yep.
But very good. What are you what you looking forward to now next?
I don't know. Basically, just getting better and better every time.
Practicing hard, I take it?
Yep.
All right, that's real good. All right. Any couple of quick parting comments before we take over and give it to Brad?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, you look good tonight, that's for certain.
Thank you.
All right, good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, and now with us is Brad Sturmer. Overall thoughts?
I think we haven't had a lot of chance to debrief as a coaching staff, but I personally thought the effort was at a high level tonight. You guys were talking to Bryce. I mean, what do you end up with, 6 takedowns in that match?
That's what I have him down for.
And that was nice to see him be that aggressive on his feet. And a Devin Tidrick match, that kid's a state qualifier last year, and Devin didn't know that ahead of time, which I like it when the kids don't know that. And then we could talk to him about it afterwards, and that was a great shot, great takedown against a state qualifier wrestler, tough kid. And it should build his confidence that he can do that against almost anybody. He's got a great offense on his feet. He's just got to get his confidence where it needs to be.
Yeah, he's got the ability to really move on as far as his season and next season too. Brad, this has got to be a difficult year for you. You've got roughly 7 kids, half the team, as far as with good experience and coming back, good leadership, and then you've got 7 others that really have very little experience. How is that? How difficult is that? How do you work that in the practice room?
A lot of differentiation in the practice room. When we go through technique time, we have a group of kids that, like you said, have never wrestled before, which kudos to them for coming out. A lot of showing courage and deciding to come out for the sport of wrestling is not something everybody has the courage to do. So we do a lot of basic stuff with them, and of course with the guys that have been around for longer, we just try to fine-tune the stuff they're good at. But then we really analyze after any competition. Great assistant coaches, Tyson and Matt and Eric, and Tyson and Matt especially good at watching film and seeing where we need to improve. And Tyson can't be here tonight because he's working on Kansas, but he's tuning in. I know he's taking notes when he's watching these matches, and we'll talk tonight afterwards and before practice tomorrow, and just kind of personalize our instruction in the wrestling room.
As a team, if my math is correct, and I went to River Valley to high school, so it's not always correct, but I had you guys winning head-to-head tonight, 30-21. I had you guys as far as up to the Toma matches with a positive win-loss head-to-head record there, and also the same thing from what I saw at the junior varsity tournament and the gals tournament up at Wanakee last weekend. So those have got to be, in my mind, some positive things. How do you view that as a team? I know the team dual meet record is
Right.
so yeah,
Right.
but how do you address that? How do you look at as far as for your team?
Well, we talk a lot about focusing on what you can control, and we can't dwell on the fact that we're forfeiting, 5 weight classes in a dual meet or whatever it might be, and just focus on, like I said a couple times, on what we can control. And I'm glad you put that stat together, because I would have done it later tonight. And to win 30-21 within the matches that we can control and we put good effort out there. Like the aggressiveness was at a level. I asked the wrestlers when we were done, I said, what do you rate yourself? They said A-, which I'm glad they didn't go A, because an A- is good effort, but they know they can get better.
Yep.
So
it's very good. All right. Anything quick to add here? You got the Bi-State Wrestling Tournament coming up pretty soon. It should be an interesting one there too.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it really, really closely. As I think of it too, I think people at home are going to be able to watch it live this year without having to pay for it. But as I say that, I think next year they will have to, just from some of the conversations I've had. But it should be good, should be interesting, and
yeah, we always look forward to Bi-State. It's a good team building thing too. We're up in a hotel for a couple nights, and and just the wrestlers and their managers. I always got to give a shout out to our managers crew when I can, because sometimes they get overlooked by the wrestling fans as we're cheering on the matches and whatnot. But I tell you, I was talking to Coach Guthrie about it before, and Coach Raz from your several years in wrestling, the importance of having a manager crew that I always tell them, I said, girls, I'd be lost without you, because I need you to do this, and they seem like they're 2 steps ahead of me. Mm-hmm. And speaking of girls, as we have 3 girls wrestling this year, and I was talking to Adam a little bit before the duel about Toma, and then when I was done, I was like, we talk about Wanakee, that the girls tournament that was up there. That was the first time, coached 20 years now, that I've been to like a girls varsity tournament, and it was neat to be able to see them compete with other girls. Like Livy looked tough that day. She was 4-1. The one match she lost, you could tell the other girl had been wrestling for quite a while. She was close to having her on her back, and we look at developing those girls throughout the year with the anticipation of that girls tournament at the end of the year, a state tournament and that's a legit goal for Livy. And the other 2 just started wrestling, so it might take them a little more time to get to that point. But you coached Livy a couple years in middle school.
Yeah, she really, really improved those 2 years there. Had her, and unfortunately, she had a broken foot after that first match last year.
Yeah.
So she'll be all right. She's very athletic, and and the other girls too. It's good to see them out there and practicing, and they'll get better also. So,
yeah.
Good.
Yep. Shy and Adriana just let of courage just come out.
So. Exactly. Yeah. So, all right. Well, good luck down the road. We're going to wrap things up and move on from there. Thank you,
thanks.
sir.
We appreciate your coverage, guys.
Thanks, Coach Sturmer and Bryce Golly, for joining us this evening. I'll let you know that over on Super Hits 106, the Galena Pirates are taking on Potosi Cassville in girls basketball action. You can hear that over on Super Hits 106 right now. We will take one more 2-minute break and come back. Rails will wrap up everything and let you know who the match of the meet was and the tri-court turning point, all coming up as part of the Culver's Cool Down post-match show presented by Culver's in Dubuque, Galena, and Platteville.